Let me see if I could fix this on TikTok. All right, just bear with me, you guys. I know that we just went live, and I'm actually really, really lucky, and I'm really, really excited about who I have with us today. I just want to check to make sure that we are live on all of our platforms. It looks like we're good. If you can hear me okay, give me a quick thumbs up just to let me know that the audio is coming through clear. I think it is. I'm checking for captions. I am very, 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 very lucky today because I have on our call today, on our live stream, I have Robert Gomez of WFG Title. He is responsible for hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars, or over $1 billion of title insurance policies, and responsible for the success of many, 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 many real estate practitioners, including myself. I'll share the story a little bit later on. But he's going to be covering with us exactly, some really, really good statistics and who are the home sellers that are really selling right now. So if you are a real estate agent, a real estate broker, and you're looking for transactions right now, and you're trying to figure out where you should be budgeting your marketing dollars or where you should be spending your time, he's going to be covering a lot of this stuff with us today. And I'm really, really lucky because he's super, super busy, and he's going to give us a little bit of insight as to the statistics that he is seeing in the market. So Robert, I'm just going to hand it over to you.
Okay, great. I'm actually working as we're talking, so I'm going to get back in the car real quickly. But in this market, in the market right now, that what we understand, there is about 1.5 million realtors across the United States. Are you aware of that, Paul?
No, 1.5 million.
By the end of the year, it's going to be 1.2 million.
Wow.
With the antitrust lawsuit that just took place yesterday in the Midwest, they figure by next year there might be about 750,000 realtors. A lot of people are going to drop.
750,000. So we're going from 1.2 to 750,000 agents.
Well, we're going from 1.5 to 1.2 to 750,000.
Wow.
Okay, but is that a good thing or a bad thing?
You tell me.
It's a great thing because during the height of the pandemic, there were 6.6 million real estate transactions. This year, you know how many real estate transactions are going to take place nationwide?
How many?
4.7.
Wow, okay.
So there's still 4.7 million real estate transactions taking place. But if you cut the pie from 1.5 million realtors to 750,000, does that pie increase?
Per agent, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
for the agents
simple
that are
math.
still in business.
Simple math. So the way this business is taking place right now, and I've been doing this since 1989, if you're not prospecting the correct people, you're not going to get any business. You have to be a listing agent right now. And nobody's selling property because they want to sell. They're selling because they need to sell, correct?
Right.
Okay. So the average person owns a property is about 57 years old. You know what their average interest rate is right now?
What is it?
3.9.
Okay.
So what's the average prevailing interest rate in the economy right now?
High sevens, low eights.
Correct. So why would you ever sell?
Yeah, you wouldn't.
You wouldn't. There's no way.
Unless
So the reason why you're selling is the need. So remember that thing I just sent you about an hour ago?
Yeah.
So if you have
on the screen?
Yeah, you want to put that on the screen, that's great.
Okay.
And we can highlight it.
Okay, so I'm going to share with everybody what Robert sent me earlier today so that you guys can look at this.
So let's go over that while he's pulling that up. I'll keep talking to you. So you're not going to sell unless you have to because it's just too much. You got good money. You got free money right now. So why would you sell? You'd only sell if you're getting older or if you have a life event. Now, if you're older and you have a 2-story house, are you going to go upstairs anymore? You're not going to go upstairs. So what is a life event that's going to take place for you guys? That would be a notice of default. That would be a divorce. That would be a probate, meaning a death took place in the family, or something else where you need to sell. So those are going to become things where people have to sell immediately. That's who you want to be targeting when you're marketing. You want to be targeting probates, affidavit, death to joint tenant, And you can do an affidavit death of joint tenant with the notice of default. Do you know what that is, Paul?
No.
Okay, okay, we're going to be hypothetical because we live in California. So you and I are married because we're partners, right? I'm sure Ariel's not going to be happy about that, but we're married. Actually, Tamara, your wife, Ariel is your daughter. So if you and I are married and I die and we have a reverse mortgage, what takes place? When you have a reverse mortgage, if I pass away, do you know what happens? They file notice
The
of
bank
default.
takes the property over.
You have 1 year to sell that property. On a
Right.
reverse mortgage, when somebody dies, the bank files an NOD and you have 1 year to sell that property. So that person need to sell?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's who you should be targeting. When in California, which has more divorces than any other state in the United States, the average divorce rate in California now is over 60%. I think it's almost like 64% that fail. So when a property goes through divorce, what's the average amount of properties that get sold during a divorce? Do you have any idea?
I would say average. I would say
Yeah.
one or two, right?
Oh, it's almost 80% right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant like how many houses they have to sell. So that they have
No,
available.
most people have one residence. So if we're going to go through divorce, what's going to happen? About
Yeah,
80% of
80%
our
of them are
properties
going
are
to
going to
sell.
get sold.
Got it.
So a divorce would be great to target. A probate in the event of death. And here's a great thing for you guys to realize right now. If you own a property, the easiest, simplest thing you guys can do is get a trust. Get a trust that's going to avoid probate, but most people don't want to do it because they want to be on the cheap. The best investment you could ever do is get a trust, because if you do that, in the event of my death, I have a successor trustee, property goes to them, there's no probate. It's simple. So you're looking for life events. So when people have something that takes place, they have to sell. So here's another thing to take a look at. You know what a subject to financing is?
Yeah, I have a pretty good idea of what it is.
So I have an interest rate of 4%. I have a property that's worth $1 million. I only owe a couple $100,000 on it. So if somebody comes in, they put a big down payment down, and they assume that loan from the lender that's already existing because I get the better interest rate, or they do a subject to where they make the payment directly to the lender, and it goes that way so that you're getting the better interest rate. A lot of transactions are going that way as well. You have to be creative, but that's taking place quite a bit because people can't afford that new high interest rate. So you've got to think
Right.
outside the box. You've got to think outside the box right now on how you can get business.
So I got a question for you. With these trusts, are
Mm-hmm.
we able to farm directly to the trusts? And when they're
Definitely.
set up, and when they're set up in the trusts, so how are we able to, other than me mailing them? I mean, are we able to skip trace them? What's the best way to handle it?
You can use Lead Sherpa, you can use Coles, you can use whatever you want. PropStream, whatever companies you guys are using to gather information for phone numbers, you guys can do it. And you can target people that got trust within the last 12 months. Why are they doing that? Because there's probably some type of life event that's taking place.
Oh, I see. Okay, so a good category is to be going after people that have set up trusts in the last 12 months. So,
Yeah.
so can the back office give us farms with those with that or no?
Yes.
Okay,
But you have to buy the phone numbers yourself.
got it. Okay,
Okay. So, because we have to be compliant, you know what I mean?
sure. Yeah,
Um,
and we have just like you said, there's PropStream, there's Batch Skip, there's a lot of different providers
yeah,
out there.
I think the best one out there is Lead Sherpa, to be honest, but that's just my feeling on it.
Okay.
So, the next thing you want to look at too is this just for everybody in general public, or is this strictly for your agents? This what we're talking right now?
I put it public. I did it public so that
So,
the
so if
whole
I'm a
my
so if I'm
audience
a
is.
real estate agent, I want to be targeting expires that are 6 months and older. Now, why would I want to do this? This is for California. If I had a property that expired 6 months ago, have my property value?
Have the property values gone up? Is that what you asked? Because I lost you for a second. I'm losing you.
I lost you. Somebody called me. I apologize. So
Yeah,
if
no
I
worries.
have a property that expired 6 months ago, have my property values gone up in the state of California?
No.
Yes, they have.
Well, yeah. Yeah. It depends on the city, but yeah, I would assume, yeah, in some cases, yeah.
I would say 95%. Because has inventory increased?
No.
No. So there's a market. If your property was priced, and I'll just give an example. Let's say you had property in San Dimas 6 months ago. It's 700,000. It's probably worth
Okay.
about 770 right now. So if I'm an agent calling them and say, "Hey, Mister, I get it. It's Robert Gomez with Real Estate Heaven. Your property's worth $70,000 more than what it was 6 months ago."
Hmm. Okay.
So you're always gonna be excited, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You didn't sell 6 months ago because you didn't get the price you wanted. Your price is worth $70,000 more now. So if you're gonna move, where would you move to?
Got it. And that's something that people have been doing. So targeting the expireds, letting them know that the values have actually gone up, and just again using the scripts that we're all trained in,
Yeah,
and seeing if they're ready to list the
and right
property
now
now.
in this market, whoever you subscribe to, whether it's Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, Brian Buffini, Ricky Caruth, Thatch Wen, there's tons of great mentors out there for you guys to go
Yeah.
after. But you have to have a skill set. You have to have scripts. When you're out there, you're an actor, or you're an actress. Who's ever better at presenting is going to get the job done. And again, I think it's important, especially what's going on with this antitrust lawsuit and everything. Your job is to be the best real estate professional that you can be, because this market's going to thin people out. And the better you are at what you do, the more business you're going to get. Be a
Yeah.
professional. I think that's one thing that's lacking in our industry right now. We have a lot of people that aren't being real estate professionals. They're desperate for that deal. And when you're desperate for that deal, it shows. You have a fiduciary duty to your client to get them the highest price for their property available, but to do it in a timely and professional manner that gives them peace of mind. I think if real estate agents approached it that way, they would do that much better. And that's where we come in with title. We talk to the clients, we talk to the sellers, we talk to the buyers, because there's a lot more going on right now in real estate transactions. So if they have questions, we talk to them on behalf of Paul or Get It, Real Estate Heaven. Say, "Hey, look, what questions do you have in regards to title, supplemental taxes, solar liens, a lot of problems with solar liens right now, HOA. We have to issue clear title so we can close this transaction so the new buyer has no issues when he owns that property." I think guys that are professional now and they have a real estate team, they're doing really well with it.
Right. So you brought up the antitrust and the commission's lawsuit thing,
Yes.
and we talked a little bit about that, you and I,
Yeah.
on the phone. So I mean, how do you think that's going to affect us as agents, and how is it? I mean, I know that our state is different than others, but I mean, what do you think is going to happen, or what have you heard from other people?
I don't think it's going to affect us in California because if you look at CAR and the way our contracts are written, we disclose everything. We're very, very good at disclosing everything we're going to do in a real estate transaction. We're in the Midwest. I don't think they're doing as good a job as we are. So
Hmm.
commission's always been there. You're going to disclose what it is. And I think the sad part about this is it's still going to affect the buyer. There's going to be money made from somewhere, and the buyer's going to probably have to pay more. So I don't think it's going to affect California as much as it's going to affect the rest of the states. I think as long as you do a good job and you describe what you're doing to earn your commission, I think it's not going to be an issue at all. You're a real estate professional. This is what I do. This is how I make my living. This is how I'm going to get your property sold. Now, I've been doing this a long time. The average real estate commission was 6%. Remember?
Yep.
I think now it's 5. I would think 5 is the standard. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Usually, sure.
So I think 5 is standard. I think there'll be some pressure to try and lower commissions a little bit, not so much for the listing agent, but maybe more for the buyer's agent. So I think that's why a listing agent is so much more important than being a buyer's agent. I'm sure you've heard this before. Mike Ferry says it. You want to be the employer or the employee,
Right.
and negotiate. And the big thing with the lawsuit was they're saying that real estate companies were colluding to make sure they didn't lower their commission. Well, in any business, you're going to try and make as much money as you can. I don't think that's collusion. I think that's just trying to make a living. So there was a guy speaking. I think the guy's name is Josh Flagg, and he was talking about when you sell something at Christie's at auction, they have to pay everybody, so money has to go out the door. But again, I think it just goes back to the fact that if you're a good listing agent, you provide a valuable service to your clients, get their property sold at the highest amount possible, you're worth your 2.5 or 3% commission. You
So
know,
okay. So
and I think
now
it's
that
important to bring up, Paul, is a
huh?
buyer's agent. A buyer's agent is super important too, as well, Because if you have a good buyer's agent that knows how to close a transaction in a timely manner, that makes your transaction easy. If you have these buyer's agents that throw deals against the wall with loans that aren't qualified, and then the deal cancels, well, that's not a smooth transaction. So I think a buyer's agent does have a valuable place in the real estate arena. A good buyer's agent makes your transaction go smoothly. They have good lenders in place. They know what they're doing. They put the transaction together to get it closed in a timely manner. So I do think a buyer's agent is important and valuable.
Now, with our forms, there's that new form that just came out which is the buyer's agent's compensation. And I'm not talking about the buyer broker agreement, right? But there's a new form now where the agent is having the buyer sign acknowledging what commission the buyer is earning.
Yeah, I don't have that. I think full disclosure is great.
Right. And that commission, but isn't necessarily coming from the buyer per se, because let's say I'm a buyer's agent, I go onto the MLS and I see that the co-op is 2%, the cooperating commission is 2%. I still have to disclose on that, disclosure that we're earning 2% as the buyer's agent.
Correct.
But what now that things are changing, in theory, couldn't the listing agent say I'm paying 4% commission? And I've seen stuff like this where they're only giving like $500 co-op, and then the buyer's agent has to collect the commission from the buyer.
And that could take place, but again, I think that goes back to being a real estate professional and having a fiduciary duty to your client. And I think if I'm going to play as if I'm just going to sell my house, if I'm going to sell my house and I'm going to pay 4% commission, or let's say 5, and I'm going to give you 2.5, I'm going to say, well, why are you taking 4 and the buyer's agent's only getting 1? And you have to explain to me why you think you're worth 4% when the buyer's agent's only worth 1. As an astute consumer, I would probably have a problem with that. And say, look, hey, they're bringing the buyer to close my transaction. They're important too.
I'm playing devil's advocate here, but you're in the business, so you know it better. There's going to be some sellers, and I'm not saying that I would do this. I'm just saying that, like, I know there'll be some sellers. They'll sign the listing agreement. They see the total commission 5%, 4%, and well, on the bottom of the listing agreement, it should say how much the agent's going to be compensating the co-op anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. I think consumers are getting much smarter than what they were. They're understanding the business. And that's where I think it goes back to being a real estate professional, saying, this is what's charged. This is why. This is the breakdown. This is what I do. This is, how many hours I spend, listing your property, getting it ready for market, whether I'm staging it, aerial photos, whatever else. There's a lot of money involved that I think people don't know about to get that property sold.
Right. And so it goes back to the listing presentation and you doing a good job of validating all the work that you're putting in, which is
correct. And I think the thing right now, I don't want to upset anybody, but I think getting a real estate license is too easy. I think it needs to be a little tougher.
Yeah, maybe it will be.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Zillow buying Follow Up Boss?
I think Zillow's trying to corner the market. Good for them. I think the bigger picture is that realtors sold their souls years ago when they let all the data go to Zillow.
But was that us as realtors,
yes,
or was that our association? Was that Nationals? Was that NAR? That wasn't us. I didn't sell it to them.
You guys all voted for it. There was a vote. Numerous votes. Trust me. I saw the votes go down.
That's crazy. What are the top producers doing right now, Gomez? I mean, other than what you just shared about them focusing on the sellers that need to sell versus the sellers that,
past clients.
Okay.
And they've been proven wrong. If you call every single one of your past clients and see how they're doing, just checking in and not calling to see if they want to sell, just calling and say, hey, Paul, I want to wish you a happy 2023. Trying to make 2024 my best year ever. How can I help you? What's going on with your family? And do a little research. Check their social media. If they just had a puppy, say, hey, congratulations on a new puppy. Call and show some genuine concern for that person. And just say, hey, how's it going? Want to wish you guys a happy holidays. Saw your daughter's getting ready to go to high school now. I think people forget this is a relationship business.
Yeah.
And they want to do business. Yeah. And people forget, I want to do business with people I like. I mean, I like to be sold, but I want to do business with somebody that actually I think cares about me. And that goes back to you and me. If it's your birthday, I'm going to sing you happy birthday, right?
Yeah. I mean, Robert has called me and sang on my voicemail. So
Yeah. Because I think with technology, we've lost the human touch. And I think people love technology. And don't get me wrong, technology is great. It's allowing us to do this conversation right now. I'm in my car, and I am amazed by it. But it's so nice to say, hey, Paul, happy birthday, buddy. Hope it's an awesome one. Or you call somebody up, hey, hope you guys have a great holidays. I hope things are good for you right now. I hope your family's good. It goes a long way.
one of the things
But
that
but
that
but past
Robert
but past
did.
clients, if I guarantee you, if every single realtor called every single one of their past clients, they would find business. But they don't do it because they're lazy.
Past clients. All right. So, calling up expired from 6 months ago, letting them know that the value has actually gone up and now might be a good time to sell. Checking out properties that were recently converted into a trust in the last year, targeting those people. Targeting people that need to sell right now, life changing
NODs,
circumstances.
affidavit death to
NODs.
joint tenant with an NOD, properties that were just put in a trust, empty nester. You know what an empty nester is, right? Somebody's been in
Yeah.
property 30 plus years. Their kids are all grown up. They're out. Live in a 2-story house that's 5,000 square feet. They don't go upstairs anymore. It might as well be a mausoleum up there. They want to
Right.
downsize.
Okay. Those are the
And the
categories.
last and most
Fantastic.
important, and the last and most important one, absentee owners.
Got it.
Okay, I love California. I'm born and raised in California. I don't like California politics.
Yeah.
I think I think our state's, let's not even go there. It's just not going the way I would like it to go. So a lot of people are leaving the state of California. If they live somewhere else, they probably, how many properties does an average absentee owner own?
You tell me.
At
I'm
least
not
at
sure.
least three. At least three minimum.
Okay.
So if they got a property in Whittier, if they've been renting out and they go, I'm tired of renting out in Whittier because these rent control laws suck. I can sell my property in Whittier, do a 1031 exchange, get one in Idaho near a university or something where I have much more favorable landlord laws, and make a better return on my investment.
Got it. So
Absentee owners are
absentee owner.
looking for ways to make money on their investment. Make no mistake about that. So that goes back to being a real estate professional. Do you have a probate attorney? Do you have a 1031 exchange company? Do you have an eviction company? Do you have all these people in your arsenal that when somebody calls and asks a question, you have that answer?
Got it.
That's a real estate professional.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Last topic. So you invited me, and I'm thankful that you did, into a mastermind group that you're spearheading. What for people who are part of other organizations, but they may not be a part of a mastermind group. I know that there's agents that are always looking to learn from other people. What obviously you believe in these groups. How would you get an agent to either start their own or find one or join one? And I'm really glad that we did one because we just made, just from our meetings and our lunch money, we were able to donate how much to Chuck?
It's over $5,000.
Yeah, and that's just lunch money, just us leaving, having our lunches and everybody donating a little bit from the leftover lunch money.
And for those of you who
That's
don't know, that CHOC is Children's Hospital of Orange County. So the mastermind group is not only to generate ideas to help all of us become better real estate professionals, but also to give back to the community. And CHOC's a great organization that saves a lot of kids' lives. So the fact that we could do just that small amount, I mean, blesses my heart big time. And that's what we should be doing. I think real estate professionals should be known for not taking but for giving. So the fact that we could do that was great. And I do have the chalk bear. I'll see if I can get to my background. I'll pull it up so you guys can see. And I'm going to give it to you, Paul, so you can shoot a post on it. But it is
okay.
right
Cool.
here in the back of my car. Do you see it?
Yeah, yeah.
There.
Okay, so for someone that says, okay, is it worth me joining a mastermind? Should I pay to join a mastermind? Should I, where is there a local mastermind nearby? Or someone who says there's nobody around me, I need to create my own local mastermind. What do you
Do a
say?
Zoom mastermind. Do it with people from different offices so you can get different ideas. We have an insurance guy in ours. We're going to probably add a lender. We've had guest speakers come in like Neil Weichel, who is phenomenal. Don't do it with everybody in your office. That's not a mastermind. That's just a social meeting. Meet with people that you don't know that are going to push you to the edge, that are going to be transparent, are going to be honest with you, and are going to call you out if you're dropping the
Yeah.
ball.
Yeah.
We always say is get rid of the ego. If you actually want to get better, be around people that are better than you. If you're the
Yeah.
brightest guy in the room, that's not the room you want to be in. You know?
Great. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you doing this for me. Real quick, for those of you who don't know, here is how I met Robert. I got my real estate license at 18 years of age, right out of high school, and I think I had just gotten it. I only had it for like a week, and Robert walks into
Maybe
the
a
office.
week. Yeah.
Yeah, Robert walks into the office that I was working at, and he says, "Hey, are you going to Mike Ferry?" And I'm Mike Ferry. What is Mike? I don't even know what you're talking about. And he says, "Yeah, well, you need to go." And I said, "Well, I don't even know what it is, and I don't even have money. Like I can't go." And he's like, "Yeah, well, you need to go, and I'll get you a ticket. You need to go." And that was the start of my introduction to Robert. And he convinced me to get over there, to drive down there. I went down there. I didn't have even gas money. Went in my jalopy, one black suit, polyester that I had to iron every time I walked into those meetings, and I was hooked on like getting on the phone. So Robert kickstarted my career, forcing me to go to a Mike Ferry seminar.
Dude, love you. You've had a great career. You're young. Sky's the limit. Just stay focused and keep kicking ass, okay?
All right. Thanks, Rob.
Bye.
I appreciate you
Thank you,
doing
guys.
that. Okay, everybody. Take care. Have a great day.
Yeah, bye-bye.